Yes, we're in there. Can you hear me, Chris?
I can hear you.
Don't be talking about my voice now. You don't have to act
I'm
so
not
dramatic.
I'm not
Oh, I
talking
can
about
hear
your
you. Whoa,
voice.
whoa, whoa.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Turn your mic
Uh,
down. Okay, well, I see people are joining, so we'll give them a few more seconds to kind of get comfortable and get in here, and we'll get started.
okay.
Shout out to my mom. My mom's on here. Hi, Mom.
You know, your mom get on early. I mean, that's something. Like that's my baby. That's my baby. You
She
know,
is. The mom is on there. I tell you, that's my biggest supporter. I'll make a post, Chris. Nope, nobody gonna like it, but my mama gonna like it.
so which one of the four is she? Is she the cheerleader, the mentor, the sponsor?
My cheerleader.
No, okay, all right.
She's my cheerleader. She is. She's like, oh yeah, I like that. She gives me critiques, tells me what, next time I like it better when you wear your hair down. What?
Right. You gonna wear that? You gonna really wear that?
Exactly.
Moms
Okay.
Moms are different with boys. Chris, no, you don't need to. No, don't do that.
No, I know you probably are a little bit spoiled.
I wasn't when I was a teenager. I was when I was a teenager.
You had to stop and think about it. That means
When I had to think about it. Yeah. I was the only boy. I was the only boy in the whole Marks family.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was the only one. I didn't have no male cousins on the Marks side.
That's a lot of pressure.
Who you telling? I heard it every year. You the last of us. You the last of us.
Okay. Well, I will get started. I want to let everybody know a little bit about you, Chris, because I'm so excited to have you. So, Chris is a seasoned cybersecurity professional with over a decade of experience in safeguarding digital assets and mitigating cyber threats. Christopher Marks, aka Chris, holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Louisiana of Lafayette and 16 IT certifications. I don't even know how that's possible.
Spread that over years.
With a strong background in vulnerability management, risk management, and incident response, Christopher has successfully implemented comprehensive cybersecurity strategies for various organizations, ranging from small businesses to large enterprises. He is passionate about staying ahead of emerging threats. That's why we have him here today. And continuously enhancing cybersecurity resilience through proactive measures and industry best practices. A few of his professional accomplishments has been doing functional testing for Alpha Phi Alpha. That's my frat membership portal, and creating the IT security standards for membership intake during COVID. I want you all to welcome Chris Marks to the second ever live chat with Charli, and I'm your host, Charli Lennon. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you for that warm welcome. It's almost like it was a bio. It was almost like I told you what to say to me.
I did my research.
Okay.
I got on your LinkedIn and I said, let me see what I can find out about Chris.
So that's very funny. I'm gonna talk about that. I plan to talk about that because this crazy cybersecurity AI world, everybody's freaking out and whatnot, and they do have a right to freak out. But like ChatGPT, I'm gonna say this on that bio, ChatGPT helped me out. ChatGPT helped me out. Now that being said, let me say, if you're using ChatGPT, and this is why a lot of people are scared they're gonna lose their jobs because of AI. That's all you hear, AI. At the current moment right now, if I sent you the original bio that ChatGPT sent, 80% of that is correct. ChatGPT added some extra stuff, like some extra certifications that I didn't have. So
what?
So let me just break something down.
So you really only had 10 certifications.
No, I have 16. No, I'm sorry. I had 16 total. 16 total. That being said, I'm just talking about AI. AI started listing credentials like I don't have that. So everybody's scared about AI replacing them. Understand something right now. This moment in time, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but this moment in time, at most, AI can give you is 80% correct. So it's that 20% that can really hurt you, because in this AI world, data, and that's what we're here to talk about. Data is gold. Data is the new gold. Everything about you, your digital fingerprint, your digital presence, all that is data, in which it is literally gold. And this is why when you look at what Congress is doing right now with the banning of trying to ban.
Let's not even go there. Don't give them too much right now, Chris.
I'm just tired. Look.
Man, okay, I want to hear about it. But before we really get into it, I would love for you to be able to just do a small, because I gave a good introduction to you from, your LinkedIn. But if you don't mind just sharing a little bit about your background, and then what kind of made you start within your industry. Tell us officially what you do.
So officially what I do is I actually manage an information security program. That being said, it sounds super important, and which it is, but it is not as sexy as some people think. A lot of what we do in information security is like staying up to date. Like new vulnerabilities come out all the time. All the time. You have to read up on them. You have to know if your environment is susceptible to them. Is there any kind of mitigating circumstances that will block this new vulnerability? You have to know that. And then you have to be able to talk tech and then translate that to business. You have to transfer. It's like it's another language. Like I was always good because I have a number of friends and a number of colleagues. So I was always good at code switching cyber-wise. Like I could talk to the programmers and understand what they're saying because of my background in electrical. I was at University of Louisiana studying electrical engineering, then which led me to doing a number of jobs, being a Geek Squad, working at the city's fire.
You were a Geek Squad?
I was a Geek Squad.
Why can I see that though?
Oh, I got pictures. I got pictures. If you look on Facebook, you'll see it too.
But do you have the Geek Squad shirt? You're not official if you
yes,
don't
I have the shirt. I have the shirt. But I rebelled against the white socks, the black pants and the white socks with the black shoes. I wore black socks, and they would get on me about that. But man, but that's where I started learning. That's where I really started learning. I started deep diving, started learning about the registry. And this back, there was no cloud computing. There wasn't even really Wi-Fi. Ooh, I'm myself. Yeah. Routers. I remember when the big push for routers came out. So yeah. So I did.
We're telling people our age.
I made it. They didn't.
So what kind of motivated you to go into this field? I know you said you started with Geek Squad, but what if you started with electrical engineering? What made you want to go into?
Well, I always wanted to do cybersecurity. When I saw the movie Hackers, I was like, I want to do that. I didn't know how, and the movie Hackers takes cybersecurity art. They took a lot of liberty because it never happens like that. Nobody's at a laptop and in 30 minutes cracking into that's no. But
was it starring Denzel Washington?
No, it was not starring Denzel Washington. Angelina Jolie was in it, actually.
Oh, well,
Angelina Jolie, yeah. So it was cool. It was cool, and that's what I wanted to do, but I never knew how to get into it. So when I was studying electrical engineering at the university, that was just something I actually did because my friends were all in electrical engineering or some form of engineering. I didn't want to do computer science. I just hated programming. I was like, I hated it. Like I don't hate it, but C is horrible. Anybody that ever programs can tell you the programming language C is horrible. But towards the end of my college career, I was in this. I got a notice about this group called the Tiger Trap 2011, and what they were doing, it was cybersecurity experts. Matter of fact, one of the guys actually worked at UL in the cybersecurity department. Like he actually was the guy in charge of cybersecurity at UL. And we had monthly meetings. We went to like Blue Cross Blue Shield where people from the FBI speak to us. And I was like, how do I get here? I'm about to graduate. I'm about to leave. I got this position as a network engineer, but I want to do this. And they told me that was, well, being a network engineer is the first step. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I just want to go ahead and do. Like, people understand, I'm seeing it now. You have to have these IT certification, IT basics to be able to do cybersecurity. You can't just wake up one day and be like, I'm gonna do cybersecurity. No, you have to know networking. You have to know the basics of cybersecurity. You have to know about access management. You have to know how a laptop works, a server works, like the differences between Linux and Windows and Mac.
This is all above my head. If y'all listen, if you speak y'all's language, y'all better really keep y'all ears perked, because I'm learning so much right now.
You have to know it because you have to speak to it. Like, it's when you're you have a computer. Everybody knows about antivirus, but which antivirus really works the best? And antivirus will help you stop on your laptop. But what about if a virus, if you have a MacBook and you plug your a thumb drive in or something like that, and there could be a virus on the thumb drive that affects Windows machine, but may not affect Mac machines. And then you go and give that thumb drive to somebody that has a Windows machine, and now there's a virus on it.
You owe me $2,000.
So you have to know this, and you have to know the basics. You have to know how to troubleshoot. You have to be willing to read. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
So
you have to get 16 certifications.
I did. Yeah.
That sounds like a whole nother degree.
Actually, I've been thinking about a master's degree for the longest time.
Time.
I actually got into the University of Dallas, but I just never.
Congratulations.
I never continued with it. That's life happens, like kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody's going to get a master's degree, do it before you have kids. That's all.
That's what I'm going to take away from this whole chat today.
That's the whole takeaway.
Security dude. Go get your schooling before you have kids. No. Yeah. I have faith in you. So when I'm thinking about cybersecurity, even though you've dropped a lot of information for us, which I appreciate, but what are some of the current trends or things that you're seeing that's happening in the cybersecurity world?
So it breaks down in industries. It depends what industry you work in. It depends if you're in education, you're in healthcare, you're in finance, you're in the oil and gas. Because in the cybersecurity world, you have malicious software everywhere. But then you have these malicious software or viruses or I should say people, bad actors that are focused on certain industries. To give you a perfect example, ransomware. Ransomware is exactly what it sounds. It's software that people use to lock up your data. Again, data is gold. To lock up your data so you can't use it. And the only way you can use it is you pay them. There was this big ransomware case recently where this hospital had to pay like $20 million in Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
So ransomware, when I first saw it, was in the financial world because people's accounts, social security numbers, people use that, so they locked it up, and they would ransom these companies. Certain companies would pay, certain companies wouldn't. In the healthcare now, they switched to healthcare. Why? Because that information right now is just a little bit more sensitive. Like if you're let's just say, you in a hospital for whatever reason.
We don't want that information getting out.
Right. Oh, if you have a broken leg, imagine if you have you're in the hospital for a broken leg, but the nurse can't or the doctor don't know the reason why you're in, and you might have maybe internal injuries that's listed in the database, but they can't see it because the database is locked up.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's scary. This sounds like a good movie. This sounds like another Hollywood movie.
I think there's been movies on that. No, not ransomware, but there's been movies on it. Yeah.
No, that's real intriguing. That's scary. That's really scary. That's really scary. So, what industry are you in then? Because I know cybersecurity is in
medical, right? Medical field. I worked in healthcare. I worked in finance. I worked in education. That's yeah. So part of what I do also is I try to advise these colleges, junior community colleges, and even actually a middle school group, high schoolers that are going to college about cybersecurity, the world that they live in, the opportunities they have. I spent the Christmas break interviewing about four different cybersecurity professionals, tech professionals, getting their advice, what to give, what to tell these teenagers. Because when you and I went to college, or people our age, you go for a work-study job, maybe you had a part-time job, maybe you had a full-time job. But I can promise you that full-time, part-time job wasn't paying $20 to $30 an hour.
Yeah.
So these kids, like these teenagers now, there's opportunities for them to make that kind of money, where being a help desk technician, being a network technician, maybe even doing some work for like a digital forensics company. There's opportunities, and not to mention internships and co-ops. So I'm trying to tell people, because the reason I am where I am is because I knew what I want. I didn't know how to get there. I figured there's other people just like me, and instead of somebody struggling like the way I struggle to find my way, and spoiler alert, my career was never like especially my college career. It was more like
that's okay.
Yeah. So I go back and I tell people all the time, this is what I would have done. This is what I did do. But there's 100 ways to get, or 1,000 ways to get into cybersecurity, and it's also, cybersecurity is such a broad term. It's like saying you're going to be a teacher. Okay, but what kind of teacher? Are you going to primary, secondary? Are you going to teach English? Are you going to teach math? Do you want to teach at the college level? Just like that, cybersecurity is the same way. Do you want to be a pen tester? Do you want to work in vulnerability? Do you want to be incident response? Do you want to work in digital forensics? Do you want to work in the cloud? Do you want to work on applications? And you don't know until you're in it, and you got to take it little bit by little bit.
No, yeah. I'll tell you, when I think of cybersecurity, I'll be honest, prior to this conversation, I just think about the tests that they send out in the computer and try to trick us to click on it.
Okay, yeah. So the phishing emails, that is super important. Let me tell you why. And the city of Dallas, which this is public knowledge, can understand this, because the city of Dallas was hit with ransomware a few years ago because of a phishing attack. So when you think of these emails that your job is sending, is this don't work. Ask the city of Dallas and how they had to pay $4 million to for what they consider ransomware. I forgot what they call it. This is our ransomware answer, and all it is. I'm not gonna say all it is, but there's ways to stop, or I should say, help prevent ransomware. Procedures you can take. So
yeah, well, they keep testing me every time. I'm nervous because I feel like they got never push the button. It's like, if you want $10,000, push this.
Oh
button.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, so when I worked in the financial world, I actually started a phishing email campaign at my job, and let me tell you, I'm that person. And not only did I start it on the day that the C-suite, the board of directors met. I didn't know they was meeting, and I sent out this fake email about coffee, because everybody in the office was complaining how the coffee sucked. So I was like, here, put in your username and password to vote on the flavors of coffee.
Correct.
Man, bro, they didn't read. It clearly says this is an information security test, and you failed. That wasn't my fault, bro. So my manager got called by the C-suite. He handled it. My manager was cool because he was like, "Go ahead and do that." My manager is from Kenya. Back then he was from Kenya. He was like, "Go do it." Okay, I got this. I was like, okay.
That's evil.
Oh yeah, I got it good. I got it. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to start sending emails out. Oh, I'll never forget that.
Whoever failed is listening to this right now and is giving you the eyes.
I did it quarterly too.
So then what are some practical tips then for us to maintain our online security? What do we need to do to protect our personal information?
First and foremost, this is number one, believe it or not, don't panic. Take a minute.
I'm already panicking.
Don't look. If it's an email, if it's a text message, if somebody's calling you and it's a number you don't know, always take a minute. If somebody's trying to tell you need to do something right in that moment immediately, don't. That's the number one. And here's the if it's an email, you might want to look at the header, like the sender address, and see if it looks like if you still let's say it's your bank. Let's just say it's your bank. Oh, this email, hey, your car has been compromised. Please click this link or call this number. No, because every bank has their fraud number published on the internet. So I'm not going to answer. Let me call the bank. Hey, I just got this email from you, from somebody that's saying it's you. Is this valid? And they'll be like, no, we can connect you either to our fraud department or please send us the email so we can be aware of it. When I tell you that's the number one thing, just take a second, a minute. Matter of fact, I had a call, somebody pretending to be my CEO, not a call, a text message, a CEO.
Oh, wow.
And they hit my private, not my work phone, but my private phone. I'm like, first of all, does he have my number? No. So you learn these things. And what they do, it's a shotgun effect. They throw a lot out to see what sprays. So that's the number one. Sometimes they do target you, but it doesn't matter what the message is. It doesn't matter. You have to take a second. You have to do your due diligence, and then also too, in this day and age, like I said, data is key. Everybody's on social media. You got to watch what you post because there are sometimes, like I said, not a shotgun effect, but this now is a sniper. They target you. They're going to be like, okay, hey, Charlie, your kids in daycare had an accident. Please call this number. But if you already have that communications with your daycare, you already know how they operate. And that's the thing, you have to know how everything operates. You have to know your bank operates. You have to know how your doctor's office operates. Anybody that's operating out of the norm, if your spider sense is going off, just take a minute. Hey, and if this is the third lesson I'm gonna tell you, if you're on a call and somebody's pressing you, be like, "Can I call you back? Let me call you back." And they're like, "No, don't hang up. No. Let me call you back." Look, it was the last CISO conference I went to. We were talking about this, and one person, they was like, "Oh, we kidnapped such and such your daughter," and dude was like, he was a security expert. He knows. Right. He's like, okay, so he wanted to see how far he could take it. He said, let me call you back. And they're like, no. He said, look, if you have my daughter, I give you $10,000 cash or $10,000 right now. Just let me call you back. They were like, no, you hang up. That's the telltale signs. People want you to make a decision in the moment. Don't do it.
Yeah. Man, you got me reflecting. I'm trying to think of all those numbers that pop up and it kind of tries to tell you if it's spam or if you should.
Oh, right. I think AT&T was doing a good job with the whole spam until they just released that statement a couple of weeks ago about how a certain number of customers' information had been leaked. Now, also too, I know. So you have to really read. Don't read the headlines. Read the whole article. That's why I say reading. Reading
Yeah,
kind of.
read
Yeah,
it.
it's not
Somebody
sexy
asked
because
a question in the chat, Chris. They said, which I know you kind of touched on a little bit, but it says, how will AI play a role in cybersecurity? I don't know if you can see the chat.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. How will AI?
They also called you out talking about Hollywood marks.
I know. I swear. Okay, so how will AI play a role in cybersecurity? AI it's a double-bladed sword. The technology, let's put it that way. It can help and it can hurt. The way it helps is that I can use AI, OpenAI, to tell me about this. If I say, tell me about this vulnerability and how it affects Apple computers. I'm just gonna continue saying Apple computers because it's like using that reference. And it'd be like this, and it could go and it could be like, okay, it'll not affect this, it'll affect this way. Versus me having to type in Google, what is this CVE number? What is this vulnerability? Reading the whole article. So AI cuts down on the time. That's how it helps. How does it hurt? Double-bladed sword. If you can go into AI right now and be like, what are the ways to make a file like be a worm or like a virus? And some stuff they'll be like, I'm not allowed to say this information. But there's other ways to get around, which a lot of red team or pen testers have been using, and the AI has started writing code.
Oh no!
Yeah. So, and also, how did it hurt? Or I should say, it helps by AI just takes a whole bunch of data that we couldn't process in the amount of time that it does.
It helps
it gives us a clear cut answer. But like I said, at the most part of it right now, it may be at most 80% right. There was a joke that developers made that I used to spend 3 hours writing code and 30 minutes to check it. Now, because of AI, I can write code in 30 minutes, but it takes me 3 hours to check it because there's loopholes. And if you're not careful with it, it can hurt more than it can help. So, and a lot, like I said, I was touching on the base earlier about AI. It's there to help. It's there to be an assistant, but there's certain CEOs that think, hey, AI can replace my customer service. Like it can replace 90% of my customer service. And to that, I say, if you think AI is that smart where it can replace 90% of your workforce, AI can replace the C-suite too. So what you going to do?
Right. You still need us.
You still need right. If you think there's that smart, and AI can't. Oh, and if they've been trying to have AI write the AI programs, and they notice it's like making a copy of a copy. How on a printer, how it fades. It's not the same quality. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
For an expert,
you hear that, companies? We are not replaceable. You still need us.
If I was honestly, that's exactly what I'm saying. If companies think they can replace AI, all I can tell is the employees become shareholders of the company, and if you get replaced, call into the board of directors and say, why don't we get AI to replace the C-suite?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they'll work 24 hours too.
Song needs to hit right now. Irreplaceable.
So AI definitely AI does give you false information sometimes right now. I mean, you're working on it, and there's prompt engineering that is. But let me tell you about this, and you'll hear if you look at the news, they talk about this will create new jobs like prompt engineering. You can't put a beginner, not a beginner developer, not a beginner cybersecurity person, as a prompt engineer. Why? You have to know how the system works. You can program, that's cool, but how does the system work? And that's just expertise. If you get rid of your experts in whatever it is, then you're gonna fail. Like
right.
So you need your experts.
Yeah. Machines can't do it all.
No, they can't. They can't.
Yeah.
Not right now. Not at this point in time.
Right. And I hope never. I hope never. I hope never.
Right.
Honestly, it's a scary world when we start letting machines do everything. But like you said, when we use it as an aid, it's a great resource.
It's a great
right?
tool. It's
Yeah.
a great. It's just like anything. It's just like a knife. It's just like gunpowder. It's just like fire. Fire can help. It helps cook your food, or it can hurt. Like so, you get too close to you touch fire. We can't lose the human morale.
Yeah.
And the moral obligation to help each other just
Right.
because of technology.
Yeah. No, that's deep right there. And that's the piece that I think sometimes the money is getting in the way and we're forgetting about our morality and just trying to
The money always gets in the way. And
Yeah.
it is always you always want to pass the buck. Man, Usain Bolt had a quote. Oh man, I'm gonna what was it? No, Usain Bolt said the dream is free. To get it takes dedication and work. But the quote I'm actually thinking about is you can outsource your jobs, but you can't outsource responsibility.
Hey.
You can't do that. Not in business, and not everybody thinks, oh, somebody else will get it. Just like when we look in the environment, people like oil and gas companies at one time had a bad reputation for polluting the environment. We're like, I'm making money. Let somebody else clean up. You can't do that. You can't. At some point, you got to look at yourself and be like, no, just because we can do it doesn't mean we should.
That's it right there.
Just because it comes in my size doesn't mean I should wear it.
We're switching it to a whole other conversation. But I'm telling you, I agree. Don't look at the number. Look at the fit.
Right.
Hey, there we go. Right. Okay. Well, as we're kind of coming to a close, I just have a few more things I want to kind of hit on. So when we're kind of thinking about people who want to be like you, Chris, who want to enter the cybersecurity world, they love what you're talking about. They're getting geeked up too and would love to just do this type of industry, which I think is very unique, particularly to me, because it's not something that I hear of on a regular basis. So I definitely, I'm serious. It's a different world, which I think is really interesting. So if you're thinking about some of those people, what are some skills that you think would be vital for them to have to enter into your industry?
First and foremost, I will always be an advocate for you going to get a 4-year degree. Now, that being said, you can get a degree in anything. You really can. I know people with degrees in psychology and theology doing well in cybersecurity. Believe it or not, doing real well. But I would say degrees in computer science, information technology, a cybersecurity bachelor's degree, math, something like that. Then you need to understand. I would go get certifications, and that's one thing I've been trying to push to college, 4-year colleges. Don't just offer classes in theory. Like don't like biology 121 or something.
That's like every
offer these certifications during the summer. Like
we need
look at right. You need to look at servers. You need to look at Linux. You need to look at cloud computing. Matter of fact, anybody right now can go to Microsoft, their cloud environment, Azure. They got white paper. So does AWS. I think so does Google. Google University, I think, is free. And understand the concepts. You don't need to understand the technology, because I promise you it's transferable. If you learning stuff that deals with Microsoft Azure, their cloud environment, all you need to know is the terminology in AWS, and you can it's about 90% transferable. Then also too, you need to just have your own environment, spin up some stuff, see how it works. You can go to you can go to YouTube. YouTube University is free. You can, I promise you can YouTube there. There's A Cloud Guru, there's a Pluralsight, there's a number of sites that you can work on lessons. But then you have to apply. You need to work in these labs. You need to spend time doing it. And AI can help you or it can hurt you. But I would definitely try to understand it, because I think the next evolution with technology, AI, and cybersecurity is in the healthcare field, because I do think once AI gets up and going, well, we've already seen it during the pandemic. People were like, how did the vaccine get created so quick? when normally it takes years. Artificial intelligence helped create it. That's what happened. I mean, I've been reading up on it. So you just really have to be dedicated, and then you have to learn about where you want to go. Now, you want to get into cybersecurity. The first jobs I would necessarily say, if you want to do a security role, is like a security SOC analyst. So if you can get that, I started at Geek Squad, but I was a help desk technician. I mean, you can start there too and just transfer over, but with a lot of work. But that's how I did it. That's how a lot of people do it. You can, like I said, you can research whatever you want to do. Understand what like a security architect, a security analyst, a security engineer, go that route. But you can start at community colleges. They offer, and this is the crazy part of, again, about 4-year colleges. Why do I have to wait to get a master's degree to take a master level course that's already offered at a community college for a lot cheaper? So however you want to do about it, just be smart. And once again, don't fall for the half truths that some social media influencer, because we ran into a lot of that, telling you half truths. Oh, 6 weeks and 8 weeks in this program, you can land a 6-figure job. No, you can't. And if you get it, you won't keep it. Because I literally work in a field where, if you're not familiar with the agile framework of working, where you have deliverables, even small deliverables every 2 weeks, these companies are not playing. If you can't do it, they give you a little bit of time. And when I say little bit, 6 weeks, 3 months, maybe, you're not cutting it, you got to go. So there's no shortcut. You have to learn it. You have to, and that's just in tech in general. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, the university, UTD, and the reason that campus came about is because those companies around it, the Texas Instruments, the big guys, they wanted a place where they can grow their own talent. So that's where that university sits right there. And you look all the way around, there's State Farm, there's a whole bunch of people, and UTD is at the center. And it's a good technology school. Like it really, to me, I'm sorry. I mean, I live in Dallas. But yeah, and that's what I would say. You want to get in the field, do your research, look at the colleges. There's HBCUs with cybersecurity degrees. There's private schools, or like I said, you can start with the community college continuous education if you already have a degree, and just do the work. But it's not gonna come overnight. It's not.
Don't click on the 6 weeks advertisement.
Yeah, man. If somebody,
it's a phishing attack.
Yeah. So to people that might watch this and work out, like if somebody say all you need to do is 20 minutes. 20-minute legs, 20-minute arms, and you look fantastic. That is a lie at this age. You are lying. Guess what? It's the same thing. You think 6 to 8 weeks gonna make you this 6-figure person? You're lying.
Yeah. I wish I could go to the gym in 6 weeks. I'd have
that's what everything worth having takes time. I'm sorry.
Takes time. That's true. There's no quick fix to get into it. Yeah, no, that's true.
No. So
all right. Yeah. I feel like we have covered a lot, but before we leave, I just want to make sure, is there anything that you feel like you want to make sure you say to the audience? Is there anything that we didn't cover that you're just burning desire to just let people know?
When it comes to cybersecurity, less is more, especially with your personal data. The less contact your debit card gets with anything that you're interfacing it with is better. The less time you spend talking to a fast talker is good. Always take your time. Always be afraid to walk away or hang up the phone or not answer that email or just not click it or just hit delete before you even see the email. So ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen if I don't pay attention? Will this person call me back? Will I get another message? And just wait. But other than that, check your records, especially Amazon or I say Amazon, just because during Christmas there's always like for me, like I didn't buy that. I didn't buy that on Amazon.
Yes, that's happened to me too.
No, this is a fake account. And just double check your records. That's it. And if you have any questions, out to your cybersecurity person, like the majority of my friends do. Hey, what you think about this?
We're just gonna call Chris.
Yeah. Oh, and don't get on TikTok. Yeah, don't get on TikTok.
There you go.
So, and last thing too. It's funny how Congress wants to shut down TikTok because they don't want the Chinese having your data, but they're not talking about the other industries that have your data. The Metas, the X, Instagram, the Teslas,
Twitter, Facebook.
all Teslas, all that data that your car gets from all those cameras, where do you think that's going?
Yeah,
yeah.
We're giving our lives away every time. I mean,
every time. And so there's a push for that.
You're gonna have people not being able to sleep tonight. They're gonna be deleting all their accounts tonight. Delete. Somebody's not
They'll be all right.
They deleted all of their automatic deliveries. They're like, give me my card back. No, man, I appreciate you, Chris. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on my platform, volunteering your time to help not only my vision and my dream, but to really help those that are tuning in, to give them information about how to keep their data secure, but then also help people who might be interested in doing the same line of work as you. So it's not every day that people will give up 45 minutes of their time. So I just want to say special, huge thank you, Chris. Like, honestly, I really appreciate you coming on chat.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
A special shout out to your wife too, because I know she had to hold down the kids for me. So love you, Melody. Thank you for sharing your husband with us for a little bit tonight. So thank you.
Okay.
Honestly. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank y'all.
Call me Hollywood.
He's an alpha man.
Yeah.
Okay, now all your friend is getting on here and give you kudos. I'm ending this.
All right.
Where's my thank you? Bye.
Bye.